I never imagined I'd end up in a situation like this, staring down the wreckage of what I thought was a solid, happy marriage. For 10 years, I genuinely believed my wife, Jane, and I had built something real. Sure, we had our ups and downs like anyone, but nothing that ever made me question our bond. Then, just a few months ago, that illusion shattered in an instant. It all started the night I stumbled across a series of Facebook messages Jane had forgotten to delete. They weren't vague or ambiguous. They were explicit, intimate, and damning. Every word from this guy, Chad, cut like a knife. It wasn't just flirting. It was a full-blown affair, and the depth of it hit me like a freight train. I felt physically ill reading those messages. My hands trembled, my heart raced, and for a split second I wanted to explode, to scream, confront her, burn it all down. But then I heard my brother's voice in my head. He always told me, "Don't just get mad. Make it count. Make sure there are consequences." That advice rang louder than my rage. He was right. An impulsive outburst might feel good for a minute, but it wouldn't change anything. If anything, it might make me look weak or irrational. I decided I wasn't going to give Jane the satisfaction of seeing me crumble. I needed a plan, something strategic, something unforgettable. So I sat with the anger. Let it simmer. Let it shape into focus. That's when the idea struck me. If I was going to respond, it had to be more than a confrontation. It had to hit her in the one place she never expected. Her own ego. I wanted her to feel what I felt. The betrayal, the shock, the humiliation. I wasn't going to just react. I was going to act. The first step. Reach out to Chad's wife, Sarah. I found her profile and sent a simple message. I wasn't sure what to expect. Maybe denial, maybe deflection. But what I got floored me. She was calm. Too calm almost. And when I told her everything I had found, she didn't cry or scream. She just said, "Let's do something about it." And that's when the plan was born. A bold theatrical plan. We decided to flip the script, turn the tables. We would go on a date, just the two of us, and make sure Jane and Chad saw us together. We'd hit them where it hurt. Not with shouting or accusations, but with quiet, devastating clarity. Let them feel exposed. Let them squirm in the truth they tried to keep hidden. Friday night came. The same night Jane had claimed she'd be out with a friend for dinner and shopping. Chad, apparently, had fed Sarah the usual guy's night story. Beers and axe throwing. Neither of them had a clue what was really about to happen. Sarah and I dressed like we were stepping onto a movie set. Every detail mattered. We weren't just two scorned spouses out for revenge. We were a statement. As we drove across the city to their usual hideaway, a sleek, upscale bar they thought was their private little secret, the adrenaline started to kick in. We were nervous, yes. But beneath that was something stronger. Satisfaction. We walked into the bar like we owned the place. Deliberate. Collected. Picture of composure. And there they were, exactly where we knew they'd be. Tucked into a dimly lit corner, faces lit with laughter and false comfort. They looked happy. Comfortable. That didn't last long. We sat nearby. Close enough to be noticed but not suspicious. We ordered drinks and appetizers, talking quietly, waiting. Then it happened. They saw us. At first, their expressions barely flickered. But then, like a glitch in the matrix, their faces froze. Mouths slightly open, eyes wide, a rush of disbelief flooding their bodies. It was as if they'd seen ghosts. Sarah leaned over and whispered, "They've definitely seen us. Do it." I paused for just a heartbeat. Then I leaned in and kissed her. It wasn't a quick, awkward peck. It was a deliberate, passionate kiss, filled with all the pain, betrayal, and quiet fire we had carried with us. And when I pulled back, I peeked through my fingers and watched chaos erupt at their table. Chad was the first to crack. He stood up and stormed over to us, trying to play it cool but clearly rattled. "Hey, what's going on here?" he asked, his voice shaking. I leaned back in my chair, calm as a breeze. "Chad," I said with mock surprise. "What are the odds? Sarah and I just decided to grab a drink tonight. Spur of the moment kind of thing." You remember Sarah, right? Your wife. His face turned beet red. Jane, still at their table, looked like a statue. Pale, stiff, completely destroyed. She couldn't even make eye contact. Before Chad could blurt anything out, Sarah finished the moment with a perfect line. "Oh, come on, Chad. We're not doing anything wrong. Just two people enjoying a night out. You know, just like you and Jane." Hit them like a punch to the chest. They were exposed. Cornered. There was no way to spin it, no lie left to tell. The realization of what they'd done, of how thoroughly they'd been caught, was written all over their faces. Chad muttered something about the restroom and bolted. Jane stood, trembling, tears streaming down her face, and fled without a word. Sarah and I clinked glasses. We didn't laugh like villains. It wasn't about cruelty. It was about justice, about reclaiming our power. And damn, it felt good. We stayed for a while after, drinking slowly, talking more honestly than I'd talked to anyone in years. We shared the real stories, the cracks in our marriages, the blind trust we'd given, the ways we were both lied to. There was healing in that conversation. A strange, unexpected comfort. When I dropped Sarah off that night, we promised to stay in touch. Not because we were looking for romance, but because we understood each other. We had both been dragged through the same fire, and we made it out not alone. In the weeks that followed, both marriages unraveled completely. Jane and Chad tried to apologize, tried to spin things, offered tears and promises and second chances. But it was too late. The damage was permanent. The trust gone. Sarah and I leaned on each other through the divorce process. We weren't a couple, but we were allies. Two people who refused to let betrayal define them. We came out of it bruised but not broken. In the end, our plan wasn't just about revenge. It was about taking back our dignity. About showing them that we weren't fools. And for me, it marked the beginning of something I didn't expect. Clarity, strength, and a strange kind of peace. So that's my story. That's how I turned heartbreak into something unforgettable. And made sure Jane and Chad would never forget the night their lies caught up with them. What about you? Would you have done the same? Or handled it differently?